one shot at a time.
Welcome back to the Enjoy the Walk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. If you follow the golf scene, you've probably seen Surf and Turf Golf. Their coast to coast apparel is what their tagline is, and nothing but truer words could not be said about this company. From they post nothing but people enjoying the game in their clothing. It seems like on and off the course. They've been a serious inspiration as I've moved closer to the beach here, with just their mentality. Surf and Turf Golf is a line they've come out with pretty recently. Really pumped to have Taylor Artman, the CEO and founder of Surf and Turf Golf, with us today, just to talk us through the story of the brand and how they've been able to grow from absolutely nothing in 2016 to a kind of well-known brand within the industry now. So Taylor, really appreciate you joining us this evening, man. How are things going out there in Texas?
They're good, man. I'm happy to be on here. Like we talked about before, I can tell on Instagram and stuff that we've got a lot in common, and you guys y'all definitely get the coast to coast life. So it's a pleasure to be on here. Things are good in Texas.
Absolutely. There's it's been, I guess, said a few times between Dante and myself, but the more we can get to warm weather, the beach weather, we're going to try and do it as we grow older here. And I think the brand that you guys have just gives good vibes and warm vibes to everyone who wears it, no matter where they're at. And it just it always intrigued me. How did it all start for you guys? I know you're a fairly newer company starting at the end of 2016. Where did the idea begin, and who all kind of came together to make Surf and Turf Golf happen?
Well, honestly, so the idea, the brand, and then kind of the vision are kind of three different things a little bit. The idea, I guess, can be broken up into two parts, if you will. It started end of 2016. Actually, some buddies of mine, we were all living out in Southern California. A few of us were playing professionally, and a few of us were PGA professionals at different clubs. And some buddies, they wanted to start a social club, so called the Surf and Turf Club. And so what it would be keyed in on young professionals that move out to California, that could use it as a networking channel, as well as kind of bring affordability, and some community kind of there where it kind of lacks. And honestly, I just joined just to do it. You get a gin handicap, you got a T-shirt or something at the time. It was affordable, and they were my buddies that started it. And kind of prior to that, I had always had a vision of starting an apparel company. My sister and I had talked about it a lot, and then my buddy Josh Creel, we had talked about it quite a bit. Kind of different ideas behind it and what some brands were really doing. My uncle was he was in, I guess, with Polo for 25 plus years. So I always just kind of had a natural general interest in it. Well, but I never knew where to start, right? Just like anybody else, we all have ideas, but we were like, where do you even start? Whatever. And then, a year turns into 2 years and 5 years and whatever, that idea is gone. But they started this, and I really liked it. And also the brand name and logo really kind of struck a chord. So, I had joined their club, and we got to talking and things like that. And I said, what do you think about kind of doing some apparel with this as well? Because they already made a cool T-shirt, cool logo. It was like an Imperial shirt or something. And we kind of just went from there. And a few guys backed out, due to different circumstances, because we were really just an idea. We weren't even a company yet, no LLC, nothing. And then there was three of us, myself, Jordan, and Cam. We formed our LLC, and we made it Surf and Turf Golf, the apparel company. And we said, we're going to make this apparel called Coast to Coast Apparel. We'll also have the Surf and Turf Club aspect still, but we needed to brand it a different way. The club was hard to sell, hard to promote, and hard to really, emphasize on what it was. But if you could build a brand elsewhere, then that could come later. And so that idea turned into more of a vision of the long term. And then from there, man, Cam and I we were playing in all over the mini tours in Canada and back and forth, mini tours and so forth, traveling out of our car, slinging surf and turf and stuff. And then Jordan was back home. He was our operations because he was the pro at our course. And so he was, slinging hats and shirts out of his spare bedroom. And the next thing you know, about a year and a half later, it got to that turning point. A lot of startups where we were kind of seeing success, and it was kind of get in or get out. And we, kind of made a decision that we need to take it seriously. I brought the brand to Texas. They're still partners in the brand and everything like that. The timing was just different for all of us. I'm single, no kids, whatever. I was a little more available. So brought it to Texas, got a team here, our first staff, our first office, and we said, let's do this full time. And so we started that end of 2018, start of 2019. We actually kicked it off by sponsoring the North Texas PGA section as the presenting sponsor, which was a pretty big risk at the time. We spent more money than we had on it, but it was probably the best decision we've ever made.
It's really neat, and it just kind of goes in correlation with what I'm familiar with. Moving down here in the Ocean City area, very familiar with the brand that just popped up down here, a fishing brand, Pure Lure Fishing Apparel. They were in the kind of the same boat. They were either like shit or get off the pot kind of deal. Let's go either all in on it, or it ain't that worth it, I guess, kind of thing. So they got a brand house down here right in the marinas of the Ocean City. And they went big, they went all out. They sponsored the White Marlin Open, which is like the national fishing tournament. It's one of the most recognized fishing tournaments in the country. And it worked for them. They hit like wildfire and they just went. How did you guys, after that first sponsorship, either see like a big bump in sales, or was it kind of just a steady progression into the market even after that kind of initial sponsorship right off the jump?
Well, so like one of the things that our major pushback and everything, it had to do with, when we were in Southern California in the La Quinta area, the desert is the Coachella Valley. There was a logistics issue there with kind of getting things in and out of the desert, because you've got LA and San Diego and stuff. And I remember Jordan and I, he would make the drive more than I would to Ontario to go pick up things or whatever, save time. We also had a vendor there that we were using, and there was just kind of some problems. And then when we moved to Texas, that freed that up, so our inventory got up and so forth. And that allowed us the opportunity that we thought we could take on, a bunch of wholesale accounts at one time, because wholesale came more naturally to us than probably any startup. Not so much that we're some impeccable salesmen or had some incredible business plan, but because we were so fortunate that we just dedicated our entire life to the golf industry and just the network of golf professionals. Well, who are all the buyers at clubs? They're all golf professionals. And then we were fortunate in that regard that our friends, college teammates, guys we played pro golf with, or college golf, or junior golf even, they're all the pros of courses. So they say, yeah, we'll take 36 pieces or whatever. We'll try it. Well, the next thing you know, we had about 50 or 75 accounts. And then we came to Texas. And at that point, to answer your question, we pretty much doubled that overnight. We got about 50 accounts in Texas right then. And we still have about 50%, 40, probably 40% of our accounts actually in the state of Texas, about 50 to 60% in Texas, Oklahoma, California, and then the rest are spread out. We're in 27 states and 3 countries now.
That's awesome, man. I love to hear and just see it kind of expand that rapidly. It's something that, obviously new brands expect to see growth, but you guys saw it kind of as soon as you hit the ground running in Texas, you saw that exponential growth. What was it like, going from just your California, Texas roots to spreading to those 27 states? Like how did that expansion work? And was it more sponsorships or was it just all those club accounts kind of multiplying word of mouth? Or, how did you guys really see that expansion take off across the different states other than your initial Texas and California roots?
Honestly, we have one group of people to thank, and that's kind of the brotherhood of our fellow golf professionals. That's why we're so behind them, like many tour players, different college teams, different PGA of America. We want to sponsor the sections and everything. They really saw what we were doing, and I think they believed in it. And, one of our missions is to, create a community that inspires others and also to pay it forward. So we always give free stuff to all the PGA professionals at our accounts, things like that. We take care of them, provide them opportunities for them to help us make money. And we didn't use the sales rep model like every brand does with regional or territory sales reps. Instead, we used our friends and kind of brotherhood of connections and sisters too, whatever. There's plenty of female ambassadors that we know through the industry. And really, they just helped us word of mouth. And how it worked was, hey, we don't have anybody, that, there's no accounts in whatever state, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, we can bring it down here. Okay, cool. Tell them to call us. And the next thing you know, we got a few in those states, and then we keep stretching and stretching and stretching. And one of the most fun parts about it, when we were in California and I said we were moving to Texas, and this includes family, close friends, anything. I can give them a hard time now because they'll say that'll never sell in Texas, or whatever. That can only sell on the beach. It's a surf brand, and I now kind of rub it in, and I'm like, just so you know, that's multiple places in Garden City, Kansas. Just so you know, like there's no beach there. And then like Midland, Odessa, Lubbock, this place is just kind of really off the beaten path as far as the beach and surf life goes. They believe in the brand because of the lifestyle and kind of who helped spread it, and that's where we have our PGA connections to really thank for that. Ultimately, it wasn't us. We have an incredible community behind our brand.
Well, that's really inspiring, and I know Dante is kind of working on his PGA or certification, his playing ability tests and things like that. So Dante's got some things to look forward to, kind of entering, I guess, what you would call brotherhood in that growth fraternity you've got there.
It's like a fraternity within the brand, like you said earlier, which is kind of really cool to see. Fraternity, sorority, whatever you want to say. It's just like a group where all the golf professionals can go, and I'm working my way towards it. So I'll be giving you a call sooner than later, hopefully. As some of the viewers know,
we'll get you guys dialed in. I know we'll get y'all dialed in on what's in here.
All right, sounds good.
I love what you said too. We'll jump right into kind of like the women's side of the thing, man. And it just looks like from social media too, you guys, like you mentioned, have just as many women wearing the brand as you do men. And in a profession where it seems like it's kind of catered toward, the old men, style, it's a brand that's been picked up by both men and women of all ages too. And I think that's been the coolest thing that I've seen from your brand is it's not just specific to one person, one style of person. Kind of everyone can pick it up and love that kind of beach vibe. How have you guys seen it from just like a sales side of things too, and maybe even just a branding sort of thing? How have you guys seen it from a welcoming perspective of who's been picking it up and kind of how people are interacting with your brand as you've grown out of the realm of just Texas and California?
Well, so like going back to our mission and the community aspect of it. Like inclusivity is a major thing for us that we kind of stand behind. And there's some roots back to the brand, like the surf and turf, how we wanted something that could be worn on the course and off the course. And I know that that's already been seen before by other brands, but yet it hasn't been seen or I guess led in a way that I would say people's voices within the game that are respected, which I would say are the PGA professionals. The way that we can like lead others by example and including all sorts of like just non-golfers to come into the game and understand it has really been the key to creating our community. And I lived with some guys growing up and in college and after college, and they all played basketball with me growing up, but they didn't play golf. And so, they liked the lifestyle of golf, but they were intimidated to be around it, to wear different brands and stuff like that. But, surf and turf is different. It has a different vibe. But it doesn't lose its seriousness. A professional golfer still can wear it professionally, and we will never lose that. Eventually we want to have a full line of performance gear for on the course, as well as off the course and dive into other sports. So to go, to start your question, inclusivity was big, both by non-golfers and golfers alike. But then also getting into women and children, that was really the gap. I read a book recently about like original ideas and things. And oftentimes original ideas, there's things to be learned from them. And we're not the first one. We're not recreating the wheel here. Like there's other great brands out there that inspired us, but they left out some key things. And, like there's a kind of a boys club mentality behind the lifestyle brands. We didn't want that. We want we saw room that there's room for everybody in this, and you can create a brand that is accepted, enjoyed, and supported by everyone. And so we want to support them in return. So you'll see us with women's line, kids, non-golfers, and tour professionals as well.
That's really awesome. I love that. I love that. I just love that the fact of, you've seen the likes of Charlie Hoffman wearing your gear. You've seen the likes of other PGA professionals, like you said, wearing your gear. And then you've got ladies wearing it out at Stagecoach. You've got women wearing it on the course and off the course. You've got older guys wearing it, younger guys wearing it. You got kids wearing it. It's something that seems to have just been so easily picked up. And I think it goes back to what you mentioned a little earlier, how you like to rub it in everybody's face. This beach vibe did well wherever you take it, not just on the coast. And I think, living in a resort town like I do in Ocean City, Maryland, I think I can speak for a large majority of our tourists that come in every year. They come in from all over because they want that beach vibe. They want that 3, 4, 5 days of kicking it back by the sand and no worries. There's something to be said about bringing the beach into any mentality, and it usually means kicking it back and having no cares in the world. So to kind of instill that with the golf mentality, I feel like you can really reach far beyond what is just typically your avid golfer, and it's obviously showing in the sales you guys have been having. With those partnerships set and everything, and people you've been able to do work with in the past, what's maybe been one avenue you guys have kind of partnered up with that you're like, wow, I never even thought we'd be in the shoes that we're in now to do partnerships with these brands?
We partnered with an NBA affiliate this year.
Fair enough.
Does that count? I saw that one coming down the road, but the timing kept getting it was more and more the time that we need to really show, we're so, like I've expressed, we're so big on behind our mission and our why and things like that. And it is so evident how many professional golfers that we back and we're behind and everything. So we need to put our money where our mouth was. And Mark Cuban's D League team, or G League team, I guess, the Texas Legends, were one of their platinum presenting sponsors this year, the apparel sponsor or partner, whatever it is. And we're excited. The next 3 years, we did a 3-year deal with them. So that was pretty, I'd say, out there. You would have told me that, I thought the craziest thing I did in 2019, and everybody on our team kind of agreed, was, at that stage in the game, I guess 2018 is what the end of 18 was, sponsoring a PGA section. Well, now we're going, 2 sports over. But so that would probably be the most unique one, I would say, for sure.
Well, that's awesome. And it's exciting too, as you see different sports athletes, big time different sport athletes, crossing the shelves of coming into the game, whether it's in pro-ams or whether it's in actual events, sponsorship exemptions like Steph Curry, Tony Romo. Sports are starting to intermingle. And when you can get a golf brand like yourselves, and I'm sure as you guys breach the market here, you probably won't be the last. But obviously, I feel like the first that I've heard of kind of breaching that market from golf apparel side of things into a sponsorship of any type of team, whether it's, high first level NBA, MLB, or whatever, into the sponsorship level. It's exciting to see you guys kind of, merging that gap. And I feel like bringing basketball fans into golf and vice versa, bringing golf fans that might not have looked at the NBA and said, hey, you know what, we'll take a look because I wear that brand on a daily basis and they're sponsoring this. So I'll give it a watch.
Well, all you have to do is go to the PGA show in Orlando, right? Yep. And if you go to a Magic game, you'll see hundreds of the same people you saw at the PGA show that day. Golfers like to go watch. We like to go watch some hoops at night too, So, and then basketball fans, basketball players, whatever, they like to golf, during the day and support basketball at night. So they go hand in hand. It's a lifestyle.
It was pretty exciting to see the guys in the bubble this year playing as much golf as they were. It seemed like playing basketball, if not more golf than they were playing basketball down there in Orlando. So obviously, like you just mentioned, man, hand in hand combination, the basketball scene and the golf scene seem to play off each other, especially in recent years.
Yeah, like we have a Surf and Turf Pro Series, kind of a winter thing that we do. It's a little bit part of our partnership with two mini tours around here. But it was a Wednesday. Every Wednesday that there was a break, we gave a 40-person set field that people could show up, play. It was affordable, but we paid out. The purse partner with the Fairway Tour, and then the APT helped us. We filled the fields. Like Darren Williams came and played, Tony Romo. Those guys are high class athletes. I mean, superstar athletes. One thing, and then they're playing in a pro golf, on the other, and that just shows you the crossover there. That there's a lot of synergy mixing between just any athlete in golf.
I think you hit the nail on the head. The synergy between any person that's got a athletic bone in their body that puts a little competition into the mix ends up trying and most likely loving golf for just the aspect of it's really, really freaking hard to be good at. And when you hit these high class athletes that are used to being very good at everything they do, golf's one of those games that seems to perplex a lot of these guys. So they chase it just as hard, if not harder, than the sports they're currently playing. So I think, obviously the basketball side of things you guys are seeing success in at right now. I'm excited to see how that may even transition into more apparel or more lines from you guys down the road. As you mentioned, your interest in getting into different performance gear, and kind of stemming off of that, as we hit the end of 2020 here and looking into 2021, what's that look like from you guys as far as expanding the brand? Are there places in the market where we don't see you yet that you're looking to kind of hammer down on, or get into that we don't quite see from you guys yet?
So we kind of go with the motto of, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it good. And so that's a lot of people kind of ask why no polos and things like that. And polos, that's a competitive, very competitive market, and there's a lot of brands that jump in there. And we don't think that necessarily our golf future or whatever is the identity that we want to be behind. It's just kind of where we naturally fit in. And so we wanted to really make a point from the get-go for a while that we are coast to coast. We are what we say we are. And that was a perfect way with headwear and then t-shirts and hoodies. The avid golfer could wear it on the course for the day and then have things wear off the course. And then the off the course person didn't seem like they were getting bought into a big golf brand. Mm-hmm. So we've been waiting to kind of hold off and do things right as far as the performance gear and polos and all that. So without a doubt, that will be coming in 2021 as expected. We just wanted to be sure and wait and do that. And then as far as other things and crossing into it, it'll have to be a secret. But we've got some things up our sleeve that we're pretty excited about.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little, I guess you called it secrets. We call it
tease,
holding some tricks up your sleeve. Yeah, nothing wrong with a little good tease every now and then. We understand that at the end of the day, you just like you said, you want to do it. You want to do it right. You want to make sure it's a proper entrance into the scene that you're about to jump into. We saw it. We were down at the PGA show in 2019, and it just seemed like there were so many polo brands, whether it was new polo brands, whether it was, the kind of old but true polo brands. It's a saturated market. And you got to find your place in it, just like you guys have with the t-shirts and the hats and everything so well so far. And I'm excited to see, from what you guys have done to date, however you enter that market, I'm sure it's going to be very on brand and exciting to see you guys roll it out. And as always, with that flair that you guys have brought to the brand already. But as far as crossing the realms from golf to whatever sports, that's what I'm really excited to see, because that's, I think, where the bigger, I guess, broadness of customer base can really be brought into the game. Because kind of jumping ship between that that idea and of the new to kind of just new designs. How do you guys, I guess, what's the behind the scenes process look like from your perspective of new designs that come to the table, and then from idea to maybe pen or paper, or idea to computer, and then finally picking these designs that go out either on the hat, the color combos for the hats and the shirts. How big is your team out there in Texas, and how does that design process look like a little bit behind the scenes?
Our head of operations is upstairs. You asked him. No, it's that's one thing that we actually we sent a couple teasers out, I guess, on social media recently, but we want to kind of give them more some more personality to our social media. I mean, we already kind of expressed that, and kind of our vibe and the community's kind of overall energy that everybody has. We want to kind of show what's going on behind the scenes, right? Because things are happening. We are humans that like we have. I always say that the most fun, or most, I would say in a way, the most rewarding experience of this entire journey is the up and down that comes with it. Every single day for the past few years, something really cool has happened, and we've had a oh shit moment. and that is every day when I wake up. It's like if it hadn't happened by like 3, of like just wait for it, it'll happen. One or the other, something good, or something bad. And so to go into like the operations and everything that goes behind it and the ideas, it is what you think it is. It's chaos at times. It's natural at times, like we know what we're doing. But a lot of times it's just fun, and it's like anything else. Most ideas stem from other ideas, or they stem from other problems or things. And you might see something that somebody wears, and it's like, that's cool, but like that should be on a hat, or that should, you know what I mean? That should be worn differently, or whatever, or added to something. A lot of it is not like, it's not original. It's just adjusted, and so there's a lot of that, and we have so many ideas that we don't even get to dive into. That's obviously a hard part. We all want to create, but unfortunately, you have to put yourself in a position to do that by selling what you've already created and by promoting that. And so, no, it's very fun. We have a team of 6 people right now, which we're incredibly blessed and fortunate. If you would have told me that, when Jordan, Cam, and I first started, and we were all doing our own thing, and it was like part-time, and then there for a while, it was kind of just myself out of my car. Like, if you'd have told me at that point, this soon in the future, organically grown without really any capital infusion, that we would be in a position that we could have 6 full-time staff in an office, and strategic planning meetings and things. I mean, I would have been like, yeah, right, or like, what happened? So we're incredibly blessed. We have a great team. And as far as who they are and what they do and what they're like, I would say just tune into our Instagram. We're going to start kind of showing some more behind the scenes on that. But we're all interconnected in the same way, that we all believe in the same mission and the same vision. And we're all members of the kind of the Coast to Coast community.
Awesome, man. No, I love that. It's got to be, I can only imagine, like you kind of just touched on, insanely fulfilling to have the success, and just to see the expectations, I imagine, change from day to day as new opportunities present themselves, and you step into new roles kind of each and every day, as a lot of very fast growing businesses do when you jump into it. And just the entire mission, the entire vibe of the brand, I'm a huge fan of, especially living down at the beach. There's a lot of mediocre surf brands, kind of just that look all the same, and it's easy to see when one sticks out from the rest, and obviously this one does, just to me, especially living down in the beach scene and just seeing so many people interact with it across the country. It's not something that just needs to be specific to the beach. So I've been super, I guess, what's the word for it, super engulfed in your story over the last 2 years that we've been following you guys, and just to continually see the growth, the success, and the expansion has been a lot of fun to watch from the social media side of things. And I can only imagine it's going to continue to grow, and I'm just not gonna stop watching as you guys continue to just keep piling on the good vibes over there.
Same goes with you guys. We're right there with you. We'll keep following you guys, and yeah, it's good. You know, you guys can add yourself to the partner list, and we look forward to what's next.
Well, hey, the minute we get ourselves a headquarters like you guys, we'll know we've made it.
It's one of those things that, like, even the more we grow and stuff like that, it's still always humbling to see, you know, these big companies, they have these like campuses, right? It's big, but I'll be honest, like, I love what we have right now. We have such a tight knit family type atmosphere. We all, like you mentioned and guessed, we all wear different hats, right? We are all every level, you know. Today we all had to come together and like tag and fold and bag and stuff for a rushed overnight order that we had to get to UPS by 6 o'clock, and everybody collectively dropped what they were doing, and nobody's too good to do that. And we did it. You know, we barely made it. And that happens all the time, you know, especially this year with COVID. There's so many things that are happening as far as like with the, you know, postal services and things like that. There's all sorts of delays, and we just have a team that's a lot of fun, and it's fun to grow, you know, and we hope to continue, but we hope to also inspire others. So it means a lot that you kind of said that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's one of those things where, especially in the golf community, I think we all can just do our part in pumping up, you know, smaller golf brands. You're not the Titleist, you're not the Callaway, you're not the, you know, the big OEMs, but I think that's what makes you guys so special. And it's what I love about the industry is there are outlets like you guys to still put our money behind that we know goes into the actual community, the professionals, the guys that are putting in the long hours, the hard days to really give this industry back to the people who love the game. And obviously when we saw your mission statement and we saw just kind of, you know, everything that you guys do, it was a no-brainer to put our foot behind it and say, hey, let's get these guys on and let's kind of, you know, hear their story, because it's something that I think we can all sit back and say, whether it's you guys from an apparel side of things or any other kind of, you know, media outlet, as long as we're pumping up the game for the right reasons, that's what it's all about.
Right. I 100% agree. And that's, you know, that's what, like, we really enjoy working with others that have a vision and a dream and getting started too. And so, you know, like, this has been awesome, and you know, we hope to continue to do it more. And I like that you guys are diving in. It's cool.
Awesome, man. Yeah, well, we appreciate the time again, man. It's been a lot of fun. We have, you know, I've always kind of just as like a fan of the industry wanted to hear your guys' story. So it's been really cool for myself and Dante as well to just dive into, man, and just kind of hear the back end side of things. And it's always neat to see, you know, brands like this pop up and hear why and hear how it's all kind of come together. Because there's always a story, there's always a reason why, and there's always usually some neat, just kind of, you know, ideas that come out of people's heads that we are like, you just sometimes you sit back and say how, and that's been really cool to hear from you this evening, and excited to see the continued growth from you guys the rest of 2020, and I'm sure for years to come within the industry.
I hope so. Thank you. It means a lot. Dante, good luck on your PhD and getting your PGA.
Listen, I missed it by 3 shots, but I got and it was due to, oh my God, I kind of kicked myself in the foot a little bit, but it can all goes back to one hole where I tripled, because I just pulled the driver, but it wasn't necessarily technically out of bounds. The rough was just, they didn't, since like the rain we got in the area, the rough was like, they didn't cut it for 10 weeks, and I just lost ball. I just couldn't find it. I mean, granted, it was still an errant shot, so I ended up tripling that hole, and it kind of just trickles down to that second round, that one hole. If I would have just parted or whatever, oh man. But I qualified for the coursework, so sweet. I can at least get that part started. I can start working through level 1 and 2, and when I get to 3, I can take the test again. Or I have to pass the test, but the playing part of the test. But you know, I'm looking at seeing what's available, what's open in the area to take it again as soon as possible. But I'm jumping right on it, so I'm excited for that journey. I mean, COVID kind of gave me a lot of time to sit in my house and kind of really think of what
We all
direction of
look at that.
where I wanted to
Yeah.
go and where we wanted to go. And I said, you know what, let me really test like where I'm at. And I said, let me give it a shot, and I can always have it in my back pocket.
You got it. Stay after
So
it.
that's the plan.
Yeah. You just got to pass it once, right?
Exactly.
What I told him, I
I
said-
was trying to be that.
I said we're gonna
That's
treat it
right.
like we're gonna treat it like a full qualifier next time. I'm gonna caddy for him and everything. We're gonna go all out.
I mean, that was my first try too, so that would have been real cool if I could have done it on the. All I needed was an 80, and I snuck an 83 in there. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, damn it, but it was a lot of fun. It was probably, I mean, Dalton and I talked about it. I was like, it's like legit, like considered like a professional event. I mean, the regional area, they sent an email. Luckily, they sent an email, and I like decided to check my phone. They say, due to it being a professional event, all players must wear pants, and it was like 85 degrees that day. It was sticky humid. I said, oh, this is gonna be brutal. But I mean, it was a hell of an experience, and I mean, I'm gonna do it again. Hopefully, it's the last time I get to do it again. But I'll tell you what, those events are still fun as hell.
They are. You got it.
Yeah, I can't wait. So, on the 2021, right?
Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, I know Dante's going to do it the next time around because there's something to be said about experience. Once he gets that first one under his belt, he's going to walk into that next one with a hell of a lot of confidence.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, Taylor. Well, I appreciate the time, man. Where can people go to find, their next hookup of the Surf and Turf brand? If they want a T-shirt, if they want a hat, where can people go to find it, and where can people go to follow along as you guys dive into a little more behind the scenes action on social media?
So you can go to surfandturfgolf.com. We got our full catalog of products and all of our options can be found on there. And then there's also a stockist list that you can go find clubs in your area. If you need something that day or whatever, obviously, we're e-commerce only from our site. If you want to find something locally, you can always look there. And then you can follow us on Instagram. It's at Surf and Turf Club. And then on Twitter and Facebook, it's at Surf and Turf Golf. And look out for us. We got some big things coming. We have our best team yet by far. So anything we've accomplished before, expect, knock on wood, but expect, I would say, some really cool things because our team is strong, and I'm excited.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm pumped. Like I said, as just someone who's been following along for a while, everything that you guys put out is top notch. But if you keep saying it's going to get better, I'm here for it. I'll be the first one to applaud when it comes out and share it as much as we can. So, Taylor, appreciate the time, man. You guys keep killing it out there in Texas, and hopefully we'll see something of yours out here in the Maryland area sometime sooner rather than later.
It'll happen.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
That's the stuff. One shot at a time.